Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody in between and all around the world, welcome to this final matchup at WJUC 2024. Brought to you from Moore Lane in Birmingham and by Ultiworld. We are watching the American Eagles take on those Daft Punks from France in what promises to be a tantalising affair and a repeat of an earlier matchup. I am Lorcan Murray. I am joined by Liam Grant, and it is our distinct pleasure to be here with you for this game.
Yeah, an electric atmosphere in Birmingham, a very exciting matchup. We see this French Open squad going up against the US. We actually saw them play here on stream a few days ago. The result then was 59 to USA, but you know, I think the French were keeping a few players in reserve, weren't exactly stacking their lines. They're gonna have to do that today. As we see the bracket, an incredible performance by France in that semi-final. That was a real tight game. United States have been kind of blowing everyone out really all tournament long. Such a strong open division, but if France play like they did in that semi-final, they can compete.
And as you said, blowing people away all tournament long. America are just such a force to be reckoned with. Italy came out high flying, lots of athletic plays, lots of heart and fire, but in the end they could not get the disc off that United States O-line. Only one turn from the O-line in the entire game. Unable to lock up any breaks, and America ran out eventual champions 15-8 with that consummate professionalism that they're known for.
We see this France-Canada semi-final. This was probably my favorite game of the week, and it was big performances from the likes of Chevauché, Stanioniek, and actually just owning the skies over the Canadians. An enchanted performance from the French. If they play like they did in this semi-final, they have a chance, and it's going to be the big ball from the likes of Bouchard keeping them in this one.
Yeah, these cockerels definitely can fly, and you touched on it just a moment ago, Liam, but it was wide lines used by the French. Every single French player came up against the Americans, and one of the big players they're going to come up against right now is that man himself, Cedar Hines. He is an engine at the heart of this American team. You can see 19 goals, 5 assists, but the real story is how he consistently generates space and easy opportunities. Speaking to the American coaches beforehand, Reed Cost especially said, we try to throw the hands at all times. Any leading passes that's inviting defense, we want to have open people. And that is something Hines consistently provides. Open hands, ready to catch the score. He is almost impossible to stop. The intelligence as well as the athleticism just proving deadly for the US of A. Of course,
and it's going to take some big performances from the French side, notably from Quentin Bouchard, who has been a standout performer for this French side. And he has 1 assist and 25 goals so far in the tournament. So you know what he wants to do, play that big ball. The USA have an answer from, comes out of the University of Orleans. That's the OG Orleans, not the new one. And yeah, you can tell they like to play big ball, and looking for Bouchard, who, you know, that Canada team in semi-final, they were big, but not big enough to stop Bouchard. And he had an enchanted performance in that game, and it's going to take even more of that. I think that was his first assist of the tournament, usually catching him in the end zone, as we see there. And incredible footwork as well. He had so many spectacular grabs in that semi-final. And of course he had the winning goal, which set the place alight yesterday on semi-final Friday. But it's all about finals day now.
A criticism so far of the French team is when things start to become difficult for them, when they can't swing back and forth, that's when they go to the deep shot. They go to the likes of Bouchard in that position. Do you think they're going to be able to adjust that in their second outing against the Americans today, Liam?
Yeah, they're probably going to have to rely on some deep shots to the big players and come down with them. They're going to have to ride the lightning again a little bit. I don't think they can really play small ball on the transition.
As we have a look at the conditions, and will they be conducive to some of that big ball play that the French like to go for? As you can see, generally fairly mild. Some would describe it as a British summer, only 8 miles an hour in the sun, well disguised behind cloud cover. However, that wind can swirl and can change. And if there's something that knows a little bit about wind, it's those avians who are in the stands cheering them on. That is Eddie the Eagle for the US of A, as well as Matthias Gauthier, who I'm sure we'll see around there later on. Le Coq Française.
Yeah, I liked how they wrote USA on the eagle there, just to clarify if they didn't think it was American enough. And there we see Le Coq Sportif, who has been at every French game I've seen, and I hope he got that suit dry cleaned, because there's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears, I'd say, from the Frenchman.
It's been a very emotional and an incredible performance from France Ultimate throughout the entire tournament. I mean, obviously through the representation in 2 different finals, but just such a credit to the youth program in France. 120 players tried out for their junior open team, representing 40 different clubs. As right now, these Frenchmen looking to represent their entire nation. Gibert picks up back in his own end zone. Gets the quick swing across to Lemel. Lemel receives it back. Coming up against this American zone. Smooth leading pass, Stangunek. Stangunek is momentarily tripped. That's one way to shut him down.
We saw that incredible pull from Hansen, and he's been doing that all week long, and it's such a great way to start your defensive stand.
Big bid straight through. There's going to be a foul called, so Gavin Leahy will have to talk that one out.
Yeah, previously worked as a lifeguard. Very few of his games have ended in drownings, thankfully. Keeping us all safe here.
Well, that's why you've got to really put that work in. As we have another look. There might have been a few drownings, but you know the Americans are here to drag the French into deep water.
Yes, if you're quick, guys.
There's Paul Guichard as well, running over to have a quick look to the best perspective.
He doesn't have to. If your player good to speak English, then
yeah, going to Nathan Klakovic here.
They've got about 10
at
seconds
the back of the end zone, who often raises his hand if you got a view of this. And I feel like the players surely have a great perspective there in that situation. They were the ones involved in it. Not sure if the video footage will have an impact on their decision. We'll see if we have a resolution now.
Leahy picked it up, but no, it is going to go back. One would assume contested. Stangunek with the disc. And there's an immediate clear and a pop back. Palais straight down the line. Letelier. No immediate movement. Palais tries to get free in the dump space. Well shut down, forced to lead it. Finds Stangunek. The French are going to have to run hard all match. Palais clears. Stangunek goes down the line. Gibert. Gibert has been an electric thrower for this side. Lemele. Excellent grab by Guichard. Guichard, so the French happy to work this far sideline. Letelier looks to center it back in, is able to center it back into Palais. Palais, the quick pop across, Stangunek. Palais makes the cut up the line, Stangunek feeds him, looks to lead, and it's a big grab and catch. Stangunek with the opening goal. Or sorry, that is in fact Palais.
And they do it, France, a clean hold, hard work up the line. A slow grind, but brilliant movement. Paré just gets a little bounce cut, the quick give go, catches the USA on the open side, and that was a hard-earned point from France. A big grind, particularly down that open side on the far sideline. And they have the athleticism to hang with this USA team, which pretty much every other team in the division did not. But they can actually, the likes of Stangunek, Paré, are able to get free on the open side against this USA side. So we'll see what adjustments they have.
Goal for France.
Honestly, when Palais first went for this grab, I thought he'd perhaps been ground stripped, but no, able to hold on to it. And like you say,
gets the better of Hansen on that one. And you can see, I think he just gave the reset and acted as if he was clearing out, and then quickly bounced up the line again. So smart work from Paré, the man who is both French and Chinese.
Of course, I'm sure a lot of people were watching the show from Paris last night. It's Paris putting on a bit of a show for us here this morning. Morrison picks up immediately to Olsen. Olsen across to Lee. And Lee completes the move to the far sideline. So they're happy to swing against the initial stages of this French zone. So Dunkley quickly gets back to Olsen. Olsen, who is incredible in that semi-final against Italy, with throws exactly like that, gets it right back, gets it into the middle. Hines, Morrison, and across to Lee. Hines again. Back to Lee and then clearing out once more. The French have melted into match. So now the Americans look to work the break side. Morrison. Hines cut, arriving slightly too early. Lee clears. Olsen comes back and then Morrison. And we've seen the Americans do this throughout this tournament, just running that isolation at the front of the stack. And Hines with the goal.
Brilliant goal by Hines, answering with their own clean hold. We saw France come out with a zone look there, and actually already saw Stanionic on that D-line. So how many points is the likes of him going to play? Pichard, they're going to cross over quite a lot, I think. I reflect on last year, Don Demarais for Belgium, almost playing every point. I feel like Stanionic and Pichard are maybe people that can do that. I can see France, you know, having some players playing 70-80% of the points of this game, particularly those big players like the Stanionics and the Bichards, who can offer a lot on defense as well as offense. But good patience here from this USA side, and as you said, just don't look like getting broken very often.
They gave up one turnover, their O-line, against the Italians, and then I believe when they played France they gave up 3.
Right here.
Incredibly difficult to dislodge possession off the American O-line. And I agree with you. I think the French are aware that you're going to need to run very tight lines, their best players throughout this game, to stay in it.
What the French do have, though, is a bit more chemistry, continuity. A lot of these players played 2 years ago. There's quite a number on the roster, or last year at the European Youth Ultimate Championship. So you got to think have a bit more chemistry. But another big pull from Hansen, and I got to compare him to Christian Foster, another USA player that is renowned for those kind of big pulls, and he's been sensational with them, always giving his D-line a great platform.
Huge shot, looking down the field for their favorite target, Pichard. Feet just getting tangled up. You know, they're just going to cycle that around to try and set up that look.
Like, I'm running and you step in front of me. Whoa, I did not.
You don't can contest, mate. Tu peux pas contest. Mate, I don't fall solo.
I was on your hip, and then you stepped.
So Pichard wants to get back to it as soon as possible.
To me, that was a clear foul. He ran into the back of them, probably unintentional, but I think he did trip the French player. Very surprised to see that one contested.
And Levine picking up the early Pichard assignment. Shows the trust the Americans have in his defensive athleticism. And it's just another huge rip. Paris launches. Big power defense. That's Micah Wagner, number 17 for the USA. But going to be a bit more conversation. Italier feels he was fouled.
That one doesn't seem as clear to me. We'll see if he did have a bid on it. You see the USA teammates definitely gathering around the monitor for this one. Seem less interested on the last one. Watch, that's the earlier play, which seemed like a clear foul to me. This one, or this second one, I'm not as sure about.
Initiation of contact before the play, and you're agreeing there was initiation of contact, but you think it did not affect the play?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't have perspective. I don't know if your teammates have had a chance to check the screen yet. It doesn't seem like they have gone to do that, so it seems like we're going to treat this as contested. Okay?
So thank you very much to one of our game advisors, Ali Brown, Katie Allen, the other game advisor. Helping to keep things moving along here. We are very grateful for the incredible efforts of all the game advisors throughout this week. That disc is going to go back to Ballet. I'm sure he didn't intend for that huck to float quite as much, but Mason Stone putting on a huge amount of pressure on the mark. Paré forced to sky that one, and it goes out of bounds. Arosao was trying to correct his positioning to chase it down, but couldn't get there in time. So now we see Micah Davis walking to pick it up.
Yeah, I think France going to feel hard done by in that situation. Had to throw the huck, I think, 3 times and sent back twice.
Lehman gets the quick spread across back to Stone. Lehman continues down the line. Stone looks back to Davis. And immediately back to Stone. You can see it whenever they're outside this end zone, they just want a 3-person dominator. Different players can come out and become involved in it. The important thing is you are always moving, cutting, creating space and attacking it. Foul called. So Wagner still with the disc, wants to get it to Lehman. Big bid by Lehman, but the disc was always dropping, and well, we certainly hope he's okay. Seems to have injured himself slightly on that one. Ethan Lehman of UMass Zoodisk.
Yeah, quite a few UMass players on this team. And we can see this French side have been so good at getting the disc back. This French O-line throughout the whole entire tournament.
So everything is tied up right now, and plenty of action still to come, and only one place to see it, and that's with Ultiworld. As is United States 1, France 1.
For the first time in 8 years, the WFDF World Ultimate Championships are here. The best athletes from 23 countries across the globe are headed to Australia to represent their nations in a competition for pride, prestige, and gold. Ultiworld is bringing you exclusive coverage of Worlds from the Gold Coast. See who is truly the best in the world. It all starts August 31st.
And we are back, everybody. You see Gilbert running to pick up the disc. And a huge grab. Orosao, when it's inbounds, he's got a chance. Eventually able to get it back to Gilbert. Gilbert, big break, but a bigger bid. Excellent defensive effort. Micah Wagner. And the USA D-line has another chance for an early break point. Davis goes back to Stone. And Davis makes another move under the attentions of Gilbert. And Davis looking to launch. He wants it all the way in the end zone. And that's an incredible reception. Cameron Levine.
And the USA fans go wild. That is a break for USA. An incredible throw and grab. Bouchard was in the area but just couldn't get there, blading perfectly into the hands of the USA player, Cameron Levine.
So that's the big layout. Micah Wagner. And here on this shot, brave. And that's the trust they have, taking it on against Pichau. We're going to go deep on your best receiver, or one of your best receivers at least.
Yeah, just the flight pad of that disc kept it away from Bouchard, and the Eagles taking flight there, and that a long point as well for the France O-line.
So the French have taken a timeout. Like you say, that was a long point, and it's been a long road as well, Liam, for both these teams on their way to the final. The French picking up some early wins in the pool.
Yeah, it was a dominant performance by USA in this pool, essentially blowing everyone out, and maybe teams often resting their top players against them, knowing it's going to be very difficult, but France slightly more competitive.
Yeah, they were pushed fairly close by Great Britain. Of course, the real matchup, as the only time that a team scored 10 on them. Nobody has scored 10 points yet on the United States Open team, and only GB able to achieve it against France. That was until, of course, the power pools, and later on where USA obviously beat France, and then Canada and France having that incredibly close semi-final matchup.
We'll see which bird is flying highest at the end of this match.
Can cockerels fly? We're going to find out.
If France win, they definitely can. But now going downwind, France on offense, which I think will be a lot easier for them opening up their deep game.
But the early break to give up serve, as that one floats down to Gibert. He immediately receives it back. And another deep shot, you called it straight away. And a huge layout, clap, catch, collect for Quentin Pichard.
Pure genius from Pichard. He's able to score when you put it up to him. I think it's going to be a lot easier for France now shooting downwind, but it's USA who've gotten the break, so they have to try and break upwind
to get back into this matchup. So showing how they got to the dance. Big shots to big time players.
Been really impressed with Gibert all tournament long. Not just his throws, his handler reset movement, and his defense. I think it's very rare you see such a magnificent O-line handler that can play shutdown defense on the turn. So one to watch out for the future there. Gibert chatting with Tom Stiles. I think Tom's getting his phone number. Maybe looking to play some indoors in the UK with him, trying to get him on his team.
Always looking to add players to his roster. Tom Stiles, super team builder. So here come a super team in their own right, certainly at this level. Olsen picks it up. And the immediate pop back to Morrison. Going out against the French zone. As you said, they're looking for that upwind break. It's not a huge wind. Hines winds up. French zone quickly rushes back. Morrison to Olsen. Olsen across to Dunkerley. Back into Morrison. Olsen. And this is the deadly thing about the Americans. They're happy to swing, and they're so effective at gaining yards with their swinging. Just like that, as they melt, Hines gets it inside the brick mark. Finding the space that he does so well, leading pass to Olsen. And then Hines makes another move, looking to finish, and does so.
The man is unstoppable. And I like the defensive looks from France, but this USA O-line just looked too good. I don't know what you can do to stop him. Again, I like the zone look, trying to stop those pull plays, do that effectively. USA take the right options. Safe as a house as always. Cedar Hines, his brother Ocean. Hines played with the junior team 2 years ago, so quite a variety of the Hines family representing here.
It's just such calm zone offense, and even as soon as the switch to match happens, Hines finds himself plenty of space, easy throw. And you know the Americans always looking to throw two hands, and as soon as this disc goes, he's making the next move. Hindsight might be 20/20, but Cedar Hines can see the future with the way he is constantly finding space and creating easy options for his teammates to throw into.
We often see that jump cut being used more and more in USA Ultimate. You see Coach Reed Koss there talking to his team, talking about how the zone works. I can actually see his clipboard there. He's drawn out the French zone and talking exactly where he wants his players to go. So that's the level of coaching you get from the USA teams, and I found that quite a lot. Not only that they usually have the best players, often have such a big coaching staff, you know, medics, athletic trainers. They usually have the best of the best.
And a key aspect they look for in every player they bring into the program is, are you coachable? Are you adaptable? If we tell you to do something on one point. By the time you get to the next one, will we see the adjustment made?
We see a side stack here with Stangenet isolated in the lane. A poach from the USA team stops that deep shot to him.
And then a floaty dump pass is absolutely stolen away. Micah Davis picking a pocket. And then the big swing around as the Americans have another chance to punch in a break. Fantastic to see Lehman back out there. Davis not able to get free, but Oscar Brown happy to just keep running in circles until he is liberated from Lamau. It's going to be a pick called. I think Oroso calling that. The clear out stopped him putting on an effective force. Lehman goes back to Brown, and Brown with the big sweeping backhand break. Leahy inside flick, buries it in the chest of Davis. Davis with a big swing around, and excellent grab by Lehman under intense pressure. Foul call, just thinking Oroso getting a bit too close. As they continue to just reset until the big opportunities come. Jody into the hands of Wagner. And Wagner back to Lehman, big bid, but nothing but air for it.
And out is being called by, I think, Gibert. Bit of a discussion with some of the players on the sideline as well.
There's a line call.
So they're just looking for some outside perspective.
You got to imagine the game advisor on the far sideline has a good view of that. Often they may struggle to get a good view being on the sideline, but particularly those in and out calls, you'd hope they'd have a good perspective. Hard to even see in our replays.
So we have another look here. Pashar was so close.
It looks like it is retracted. Probably getting some help from the sideline there, so good spirit from France.
Lehman wants to get the dump out of there, but a big force and great dump coverage stops the first option. Forced to go down the line, and Brown has to watch it hit grass in front of him.
You know, France can't really afford to be broken upwind at this point of the game. Really important possession here for France. Kind of setting up the side stack again with Stangenet isolated. But the deep shot comes from the handler space.
And they're looking for Paris and Prechard. Prechard's able to get a touch, but not enough. Excellent presence. Michael Wagner and Lehman, as well as Leahy also coming in to help.
You can see they're just trying to set up the deep shot there, France, but USA very alert to it. Several players helping out there and just smothering the French players in the deep space right now.
So Hansen puts it up, but it floats, and it is stolen right back. Excellently done by Prechard. Prechard goes back to Paris. Paris finds Gibert. Gibert front of the end zone. Isolation moves. Stangenet falls over, gets back up, and gets the goal. And that's the way France will need to play in this game.
Stangenet is so fast he can fall over and still beat you to the open side. And they look for him quite a lot there. And as I said before, this French O-line good at getting it back. Maybe a little lucky there in one of the possessions from USA, but able to get it back.
And perhaps that was, rather than a trip, but actually an incredibly inventive fake.
Yeah, doing a lot of big work, Stangenet. And we see off the break pull, a pull play. You see that side stack from France. Looking to isolate Stangenet, but there's a poach in the lane. They force them the first pass backwards, and that's great work from USA, not allowing the pull play. We then see a turn from the give-go in the handlers, and maybe it's a little bit lucky there. That's what you're trying to hope for, is maybe forcing passes backwards between the handlers. And a bit of friendly fire, I think, maybe even there from the French. But that's what USA are doing so well, stopping the first pass, identifying that side stack and the isolation play, because they're so dangerous, France, if they're isolated in the deep space.
And that's something they've definitely learned. Also looking to isolate themselves in the deep space as well. They find Shope, collects. Hines makes an initial move and a second, and it's the second one he gets free on.
Just can't stop him. There is no stopping him. I like that deep shot from USA, and France unable to get some in the lane or have some kind of help defense. Haven't seen a lot of deep shots from USA, but unlocking one there. And being forced backhand there just unleashes that big old buttery biscuit, and that is on the money. Shope has, I think, 15 family members here in Birmingham. His granny is actually from Wales, I found out chatting to his dad, so could be eligible to play for Great Britain.
I wonder why he made that decision.
So I think he's going touring Wales with his family, so yeah, maybe some of the GB coaches could try and poach him. Might be entitled to a UK passport. So shout out to all his family. Yeah, 15 family members, I believe, here. His granny's made a flight over.
Well, right now, the French in a little bit of a valley themselves, and they're going to need to find their way out of it. Also, not just 15 family members, but also 2 childhood friends, as Shope is one of 3 players alongside Ryan Ducelli and Micah Davis, who went to the same high school, St. Louis Park Orange Crush, all making a national team, and not the biggest of high schools, I've been told, so big shout out to the Orange Crush fans at home. It's a great REM song as France look to fight their way back into this game. They will need to be harder, better, faster, stronger than their last outing. And gets it down the line to Gibert. Gibert into a power position, but the Americans ready for those shots. They're trying to load their big throwers into those positions so they can take advantage. And they're just not able to, thanks to some incredibly smart American defense. Lemeli, big bid, but Lemeli stays strong, gets it to Gibert. Now Gibert finds himself in a power position, goes for the arcing pass, throwing it into coverage, and I don't think anybody really got near to that, but you've got to point out Elliot Hawkins was ready.
Yeah, the one and only, peeling off the back of the stack there and kind of playing last man defense here a bit. Last person in the stack, USA, always mindful of the deep shot and just peeled away there as that deep one came. Had it been a flat pass, I think he probably would have intercepted it. So adjusting very well to the French deep game here, the USA D-line.
Stone with the disc, center of his own end zone. Able to get this swing around to De Morgan. De Morgan back to Levine. Levine to Stone. So still just dump swinging it. Nichols. Nichols finds some space with Hawkins, and now Hawkins rips one from playing in the deep to throwing it deep, and that's an incredible grab, Nathan De Morgan.
Sensational. Like a shark in the water, they can smell blood, this USA D-line, and they come up trumps there with an incredible grab. Big moment in the game. That is an upwind break, and they can launch hucks as well. Tough moment for the French side. The O-line have to walk down now and try and do it again, but this time upwind. And what a brilliant throw from Hawkins.
Not an easy catch either. Needed to lay out, but not full extension, and I see a lot of people short arm layouts and drop them. But not De Morgan. It was very impressive to just get around the high kick. I think that was Guichard coming across on the force. So Eddie the Eagle definitely happy with how the first few points have gone for the Americans.
Yeah, they have their tails perked up now, this USA side. And you know, for France, they really need to stay close at the earlier part of this game. That's what I want to do. Make sure they're within 1 or 2 points as it gets to the business end, and then they can probably just cross over all their stars. You can see that France D-line is actually pretty good at getting it back. We haven't seen them. Didn't need to do it against Canada yesterday, actually. We're so dominant in that game.
That was something Cedric Testal, the O-line coach for France, was saying before the match as well. We have to get this to a point where we're playing OD, 1 for 1, and then take the chance when it comes. We can't allow them to build a lead. The Americans, they've got their hammers out. Looking to get back to Gibert. Going with a high release flick across. The wind floats. Brilliant grab. Negro was under all kinds of pressure. He goes back to Staganek. Staganek to Gibert.
Negre did a pirouette there. Actually did a full 360 before taking that one down.
So they're stylish as well as powerful. Staganek with the disc. There's a call. This will be a pick originating somewhere in the stack. I think Lehman wants the opportunity to catch back up with Laurent Balou. Staganek under the attentions of Leahy. Dumps it back. And there's the leading pass, excellently taken down. I thought that one was going to be another turnover. Laurent Balou had other ideas, and even with the touch from Hines, it gets across to Negre. Negre. Fallure. Laurent Balou. Negre. It's a couple of new names. Gibert, well established. Laurent Balou. Back into the middle, and a huge layout bid doesn't get to in the way for America, and a nice grab by Prechard.
And that was actually Cedar Hines there looking to get that layout block. Is playing a D point there. Happy to do everything he can for this USA side. We saw some fresh faces on the O-line there, and that was Negre, I think, doing really well in terms of a bit more handle movement, give, go. And that's what the USA are kind of forcing this French side to do. They're taking away the deep shots, forcing them to play small ball, so bringing the likes of Laurent Balou and Negre onto the field seem a little more comfortable just in that give-go space. Hines slaps the ground. He's been sensational so far, but has high standards from himself.
Really great assist from Letalieu. And swapping over some of the experience as well, Aubin Laurent Balou was on the team back in 2023, on the team back in 2022 as well. So has silver medals, silver EYUC and silver JJUC. For those of you maybe not so brushed up on the history, that JJUC final was contested between the USA and France, with the USA coming out on top 15-11. And somewhat expectantly, Laurent Balou staying out there. The wind is also somewhat coming across the pitch from our sideline to the far sideline. If you've noticed some of those swings coming towards our sideline, popping up a little bit more. Popping up consistently for this American offense is Olsen. Absolutely lethal against the Italians.
And we see the French handler Mark sagging the lane, just trying to stop that pull play.
Olsen to Yang. Has Lee as well. Sees him, hits him. Across to Dunkerley, back to Lee.
And looks like the French handler marks to the front, kind of playing his own, this three-person kind of wall. Downfield, kind of a lot of switching and passing off, almost match defense, but passing off players very effectively here, France.
Lee with the disc. All the fakes through, they're just like jabs, trying to find the range of the zone, pull it apart a little bit more. We've seen a lot of teams get really stifled by zones as they just don't pick an option through it.
It looks like Hines is probably being marked honestly there. One player sitting on him the whole time, so maybe just having that shadow or match defense on Hines.
So a specific defense for a special player. Olsen able to get that around the extended bidding body of Maladin. But now the Americans tear down the field. Newhouse with the disc. Goes back to Olsen, who immediately throws it to Lee. Lee has Yang in one direction, Hines in the other. Goes to Hines, back to Olsen. Olsen has Lee. Hits him right outside the end zone. Olsen continues the move and completes it.
You can slow him down, but you just cannot stop this USA O-line. Olsen putting the exclamation mark on that fantastic hold. Again, I think a good defensive look from France, that kind of zone. I think they were targeting Hines there, who eventually did get some space. But a good look, I think, again, from the France D-line. If I was their coaching staff, I'd be happy what they're trying to do, but you can't make USA turn over. You can't force them into bad decisions, and they've just been doing the right thing time and time again.
And that inside channel has been deadly from all three American outfits. They're so adept at moving to attack it, and it's a small window. But if you can get through it with the frequency that they can, it will absolutely tear apart defenses.
The wisdom of this USA O-line is incredible. You forget the juniors players, like, so calm, so smart. A lot of great trust there as well. You see them moving as a unit down the field.
They bring a huge amount of experience that belies their young age. Oh, I thought for a second Gibert was going to get lost underneath that one, but he's ready for it. Quick give go with Lemel. On the opposite sideline, Stangunik. Across the Pali. Back into the hands of Olesso. Pali. And again Gibert. Working well with Lemali. Across to Stangunik. Stangunik can't get it straight through into the middle. And the American zone is able to reset. And a line trap now. Gibert have to find a way to throw out of it. Those are some imposing eagle claws, scratching at every move they make. It was a lovely pass straight through Olesso. Lemali, and you see how difficult it is to hit that inside window. I've seen so many drops. Before this tournament, I thought that throw was nearly always a drop. The Americans have taught me otherwise. And there's the big shot looking for the end zone. And it's a sensational grab by Elliot Hawkins.
Take a bow, Elliot Hawkins. Thought that one was going to run away from him, but just an acrobatic catch. And they can do no wrong here, this USA team. They've saved their best performance for the final, and just, you feel it for France. They aren't playing that poorly, but just USA unstoppable right now. Coming down with everything.
I mean, to an extent, it has to feel like you're going to war with the ocean. They are just relentless. Blady throw, exposing the underside to the wind. That shouldn't work, going by common knowledge, shared wisdom. But for the Americans, they're so skilled. They put so much spin on these discs. Of course, they have incredible athletes like Hawkins who are able to get brilliant trailing edge grabs. It all just comes together into this unrelenting force that, like you say, has drowned many an opponent.
Hawkins coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. Not exactly an ultimate stronghold, but I'm sure everyone in Louisville getting excited now.
Hawkins was very impressive on that point. Another very impressive player so far has been Micah Davis. We've seen him step into some incredible throws. That's 2 times now in the precision. He's putting them where there's only one person who can get it, and that's his receiver. And as well as that, getting himself involved with some excellent interception. Even if there was a defender there, I don't know how they could have possibly gotten to that disc. So playing at another level. Davis. Currently playing for Sub-Zero. Two assists, 1 block, and incredible assists, Liam.
Yeah, he's better known as an offensive handler, but been doing a lot of the dirty work here on the D-line. Now got another break on the board, that time going downwind. We will probably see that spin pull from Taylor Hansen, who Again, his form reminds me so much of Christian Foster, maybe even Eric Taylor.
There's a big pull. And the French right back to it, quick as they can. And that is an unfortunate error, and exactly what they didn't need to do. So now America with half a pitch to work through, trying to lead, and that is well chased down. Nichols outside the end zone looking to take half. The French desperately fighting every inch a battlefield, as they cannot afford to give this up, but the Americans never stop, and it's another assist for Davis, this time to Ryan Desailly.
And they are dancing, this USA team, dancing their way into the second half. Incredible performance, just stepping it up on the big stage. It's just not close right now. It just isn't. The USA team are just too good. They need a big momentum shift here, the French. They're going to have to find some courage, some muster in this second half. And it's been a few unfortunate drops, and they're going to punish you every time, this USA side.
They keep coming at you, and their form in front of the end zone is incredible, and it's something that's reflected when you start to look at how few turnovers they give up.
Yeah, just one great chance for the French. You're not going to get many off this USA team. Don't particularly remember even that one. A lot of clean holds for the USA. And yeah, France have been usually pretty good at getting it back off a lot of teams. They're not going to get it back much off the French. I'm not sure if there was a break chance, Lorcan, was there?
Going off our stats as provided by the wonderful Yes man here in the booth, that O-line hasn't given up the disc yet. So that might just be a bit of a technical error on our part. But like we say, it's more about the fact that the United States, they just keep coming and coming and coming at you. And like, they've even capitalized on all of their break chances for 7-4. So right now in the driver's seat, and certainly on the way to another gold medal in the collection, it is United States 8, France 4. Welcome back, everybody. We have the pleasure to be joined by one of the coaches for the USA, Reid Koss. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Reid. Look, seems like everything's going to plan. What is the secret to your O-line offense? 0 turnovers. You're not giving the French a chance at all.
They're doing a really good job of making us have to play in a really small space. Luckily, that's one of our strengths. And the handlers all tournament have shown that they can be disciplined. They don't need to take any unnecessary risks. And they all, our number one rule of zone offense, you should always have an easy throw, and they're willing to always take that easy throw and know they take enough of them, and a good throw will come that gains us the yards.
On defense, Reid, you've really been stifling their deep game. You see some maybe help defense from the back to stacked, or recognizing that side stack, that first pull play. You've been doing a great job of that. How impressed have you been with your D-line and shutting down the French deep game?
Really good. It's very clear that that's their strength, and so we've talked a lot about make sure that we do our best to win that space. And so maybe that means a little back pocket. Maybe it means having some help over the top, and marks. Our marks being disciplined to hopefully make those throws just a little bit harder.
And one final question, do you have a message for anybody back home and all the American fans watching?
Hey, if they're up watching it this early, I would say thank you for getting up and thank you for your support.
Well, thank you for joining us, Reid. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we hope everybody is enjoying this game. We've still got more action to come. The second half of the Open final will be back after these messages. It is the United States of America 8, France 4. Welcome back, everybody, to the deep end of the Under-20 World Junior Ultimate Championships here at Moore Lane in Birmingham. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the second half as America are in a commanding position. Is there anything you'd like to see from the French coming out in the second half to try and get back into it?
Just trying to get that flair and confidence back. Probably need to recognize that their deep game has been shut down a lot. They're still setting up that side stack quite a bit and isolating a player, but the USA are shutting it down. So maybe coming up with a shorter, shallower, horizontal stack. Doing something to take what USA are giving them. They're still trying to get the deep shot off, still trying to isolate a cutter, but you got to take what you're given sometimes. I think defense, they've been good, but you just can't get the disc off this USA O-line. I don't know what you do about that, but certainly they can improve on offense quite a bit. I think they've had the luxury at times throughout this tournament of, hey, we turn over, but really good at getting it back, we'll get it back. USA are the only team that have really, really good offensive players in the whole entire roster. The D-line will have a really good offensive handler. You don't see that as much on other teams, so they're going to punish you a lot more. If you just joined us from the US, it's breaks for breakfast for all the US fans. They've been enjoying this one.
Breaks for breakfast and a full Irish here in the booth. And it's been an enjoyable day so far. It looks certainly on its way to a lot of glory for the Americans. Picking up the win in the mix. Well, you know what? I've already kind of spoiled it, but I realize I probably shouldn't in case you haven't watched that game back, and it's a few weeks on from now. Hello, people of the future. As we right now are enjoying the gift of the present. Olsen with the disc. That was a fantastic pull, it must be said. Now the Americans pinned back in their own end zones. This is exactly how the French want to start the second half. Let's put on some pressure. Let's see how they react. Well, to be honest, they've been here before, USA, and they've reacted very effectively. So it's Morrison and Olsen just dunking it back and forth between each other for now. Going across to Dunkerley. Back to Morrison.
And I believe that's match defense against Hines. Lamar being told to sit on Hines. And I do like this defense from France.
I just put a shadow on him. He's so lethal in that space right behind the front jaws of the zone. Constantly offering himself as an option, and then from there throwing the continuation. So let's see how America can just keep swinging it and find their way through. just out of shot. Newhouse and Shope trying to occupy the deep, and there's Newhouse coming under into that middle space, gets it to Olsen. Hines tears off deep. And now comes back under to collect. Newhouse screaming for it on the near sideline as he tears off towards the end zone. Morrison happy to keep things running. Shope to Olsen. Morrison. Back to Olsen. Back to Morrison. And again, that inside window. They hit it with a consistency that shouldn't be allowed. Phenomenal layout block. Lemar. And was that the first moment, a lackadaisical moment from an American O-line?
Are they human? Turns out they are, just about.
Are they human after all? The question the French have been asking. As they think about a big deep shot. Stangunek able to get it across into the hands of Maladin. Maladin sends it down the line. Finds its way back. Laurent Ballieu to Stangunek. Laurent Ballieu tears off down the line. The swing back into the center. Lacoste. Lacoste inside to Maladin. Maladin to Stangunek. Maladin tears off down the line. It's good clearing. It's a lot of hard work from the French, but they knew it would take effort. Laurent Ballieu. This is their first opportunity at a break. There's the man who got the block. Lemar. Lemar with the inside window. Laurent Ballieu goes down the line. I think there's going to be a call for a travel, so
There's a push-off foul in the stack.
So that will go back to Laurent Ballieu. The foul being called, it would seem, on Maladin as he tries to escape Lee. Laurent Ballieu goes over the top. Lemar, Stangunek shoots to the end zone, and that is a break. And who else but Quentin Péchard gets the goal?
Vive la France, this game isn't over just yet. And they've converted 100% of their break opportunities in this game, France, because they've only had one.
And speaking of only having one, once we got to the bracket play, that's the first break the American O-line has given up.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the first one all tournament. Not entirely sure of that. You could probably just guess.
I'd say yes. We're the final arbiters as we have another look at that phenomenal work. Lemar reading the eyes the entire way, and then great continuation flow. The short game. You worried they get in that position they were going to just rely too much on the deep shot.
And that will give France a bit of a skip in their step now. You know, I think they really needed that. Had USA scored in the first point of the second half, you could feel the energy zapping out of them, but something to celebrate there.
A few of those players staying out there, but France able to cycle a couple of new faces in as well. Jules Lemar, who got that block, is also a veteran of both the 2023 and 2022 campaigns, so will remember the last time he was in a final against the USA, I'm sure. They come out with another zone, Liam.
Again, match mark on Hines. There's a foul called on Hines. You can see they were a bit of argy-bargy going on with the two players. This time it's Gaston who has been given the task of trying to keep Hines in his pocket.
Well, no one chases like Gaston. No one braces like Gaston. No one gets up in American faces like Gaston.
And Hines hasn't been afraid of the contact anyway. Happy to play through it.
It was a notable conversation from the start of their semi-final against Italy. Like, we like a little bit of contact. Like, we're absolutely fine with it too. Quick calls resolved concisely and fairly as Lee gets it. Dunkley clears right through the gap, and the zone repositions itself. Olsen directing traffic behind the wall. Lee leads Yang. Incredible grab. Jonah Yang, full extension, saves possession. Olsen. And then every twitch has to be reacted to, because he'd be just about to throw it straight through the zone and undo your entire defense. Dunkley, Lee.
And I'm just watching this player cam of Gaston and Hines just going shoulder to shoulder, and Hines is trying to take him for some 30-yard sprints over and back.
As Lee goes with the blade over the top. Nicely done. Dunkley feeds Yang. Yang, the break timing just ever so slightly off. And then the throw, Olsen to Yang, a drop. The wind has definitely changed to a much more traditional, shall we say, upwind, downwind affair. And it is going to be howling into the face of Laurent Ballieu, but there are plenty of French voices joining that chorus in support. Gets the first throw off, often the most difficult. Maladin gets the swing around. Negle. There's a pick called back in the stack.
It's a very far away stack here from France, particularly going upwind. Maybe you want to see them come a little shallower. You know they want to set up the deep shot. Give them a little more space to do so.
Negre's definitely capable. He has those throws in his retinue. Coming into this matchup with 14 assists, 3 goals. Although we'll go back to Laurent Ballieu with the between the legs fake. And maybe that's the flash you wanted, Liam.
Absolutely, I love that. You gotta love it.
You gotta have fun. Remember, this is a game. Lacoste down the line to Negre. Negre able to get it to Maladin. And they are marching. It is a slow march, but it is in the right direction. Laurent Ballieu puts Murthy in the spin cycle. Yang comes across to help out.
Yeah, got washed and rinsed there, but it was the ESA player poaching upfield that made the play.
So he's going, I think I got to the disc first.
Okay.
Can I translate what he said?
Yeah.
Do you understand what he said?
What? No, he doesn't understand French. I don't understand French.
Can you
translate what he said?
can you say first what he's calling, please? Thank you.
So he passed the disc, and then you came in with the knife to take it right off his hands.
Okay. I think I caught it, and I stopped rotation here. And I think I got to it, and I think he did have a play on it after. But I think I stopped rotation first, and I got to it there. So,
would you like my perspective? From my perspective, I didn't see at the timing of the catch, but I did see that you initiated contact on the play, which...
he's calling a strip though, right?
Okay, but I'm telling you that you initiated contact in order to be able to make that play, and you can use that information. Okay, so we're going to keep a strip contest. Yep, so it's going to come back to the thrower. What was the stall count on?
Strip contest.
So the last number you said was 5.
So gratitude to Erwan Palais, the spirit captain for this French side, coming in to help translate, clarify.
Yeah, I don't think it was a strip actually, which is apparently what he called, but I probably agree with our game advisor there that did initiate contact Yang, so it is contested by the players on the field.
Seems like a fair resolution, and what an incredible play. I think that was Hines again coming across, huge layout. Olsen picks it up. Goes back to Lee. Yang clears. Dunkley comes in. The timing is exceptional. Lee. Yang. Shope immediately cuts back under. Late bid, and Shope already had it in his hands, I'm pretty sure, before Monus hit the ground. Lee sprinting, looks to lead, wants Hines once more. Can anything stop that young man?
I don't know if you know this, Lorcan, but 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. The other 30% is covered by Cedar Hines. He is absolutely everywhere today. Gets the block, gets the goal. This man is just not going to lose a game of Frisbee.
That is what you talk about when you want to talk about leadership. Just everywhere, and as you said earlier, swapping over, he plays on both lines. But France at least able to dislodge possession and get one break. As we have another look at the cheeky little fake, but that's what you want to see from France. That's not what you want to see. Throwing into tight spaces to fairly totally covered players.
Should have thrown up between his legs, clearly. That was the obvious option in the 5-hole, but can't stop this man. I think it's a good tactic from France, kind of playing that zone with him being shadowed the whole time. He actually did a good job there in the last possession of going to the sideline, because the person marking him is kind of the mid, so if he leaves that middle space, there's actually open shots for other players. But getting turns now, France, which is a good sign.
Against one of the zones when he was being shadowed, we saw him clear out, and I think it was Newhouse who came in and was just completely free. But plenty of positives to take for Les Bleus. And here they come again. Gibert to pick up. Lamau. Pichau. Pichau thinking about the deep shot momentarily. Goes back to Gibert in the middle. Gibert gets it across to Guichard. Just a bit of contact downfield. Accepted by Wagner. So the stall will go back to 0 as it is an accepted foul. Nichols acknowledges. Guichard rips, shooting for the end zone. That's a lot of white jerseys waiting for it. Elliot Hawkins, he knows the assignment and he is ready for it. Leading pass, gets it to Brown. Brown in the middle, across to Davis. And Davis back to Hawkins. Hawkins with a big fake. And then a smooth under to the open form of Kaparik. Kaparik back to Hawkins. And now Hawkins rips one from power position to Brown! Almost.
He put on his cape but couldn't catch that one. Oscar Brown.
That was more a situation of get cape, wear cape, try. Oh, that's close.
I'm sure some of his Salt Lake Shred teammates are cheering him on. Apparently they've been really missing him in the pro leagues over in Utah.
Huge shot immediately from France. The wind has got under it and no person can match that element.
And again, USA play great help defense. Nearly every deep shot, there's 2 USA players there. They're always playing, as their coach said, Reed Koss, back pocket so they can see the disc. They can read when the huck is coming and they drift off.
I just think that would expose a couple more opportunities for some big gains on the under. As right now, Davis to Brown. Hawkins stutter steps and then cuts under. It's forced to clear out. That's not going to be quick enough to escape Prichard. Throw across. Nichols. That wind really starting to whip. Nichols to Davis. Davis steps in and rips a blade looking for Hawkins, but was always being pushed down. Clearly the Americans don't care about reputation, going deep on the man being marked by Pichard multiple occasions.
And I'd love to see a horizontal stack here from France, something where you have 2-3 people clear deep and someone come under. I think USA would bite on those deep fakes, get someone on the easy under. They've been struggling to do that.
Is France able to get off the line? Back to Gibert. And then fantastic buzz switch between the 2 handle marks. Now Gibert rips it. You know who he wants. And he gets him. Excellent grab, Quentin Pichard.
How did he get that? That was incredible. Looked like the USA player who's been doing so well, Hawkins. They got a hand to it, but you just cannot stop this man. Pichard, you're going to need big grabs from him, and he's doing just that. We'll see if we can see that one again. Getting high in the stall count. Pichard rising high. Don't try this at home, kids. That is an incredible play. Did Hawkins get a touch on it?
He got about as close as you can. He did. Presence of mind coming from a family of Frisbee players. There are 13 different clubs represented on this French Open team. 7 of the players come from Frisgo, including Pichard. An incredible institution helping grow Ultimate in France.
I don't know what they're feeding them down there. That's what I want to know.
Defiance.
Is that a cheese or?
Oh, Defiant. It's got little bits of chive in it. I'm not a fan. But of course, the majority of the task still lays ahead of them. A hold is a lovely thing, but you got to put pressure on. And see, the offside was available to call, but deciding not to, as it would have just cost them about 2 meters, really. Cost Morrison. And Morrison, he fakes the scooper twice and makes 3 French men jump. Hines. Olsen. Morrison. And a big bid by Hines. Like you say, he just refuses to let this team lose. Olsen. Lee, Murty. Back to Olsen. Happy to swing. Really under too much pressure. Courtesy of the tireless cutting downfield and the constant repositioning. Lee. Morrison. That is tough work for the wings as they try to stop the swings coming off. You see Perez and Mendley doing what they can, but you can't cover that much ground, I suppose, unless you're Hines. Hines with the pop over the top. Shope. Nice recovery from the French to stop the throw to the free Murty. And Lee has been forced to holster about 2 throws there. I don't think he wanted to. Olsen, inside throw to Hines, and now talk about flashy.
That throw just a little bit behind him, but well able to hop, skip, jump and spin into the end zone. And again, putting that shadow on Hines, but he's actually just almost sprinting from sideline to sideline, and he's playing a match defense but can still get free. And if he ends up getting the disc, then there's often a hole behind in the zone for France.
There's a few times there. The French zone did a good job recovering. Murty was free at one point. Shope was free a few times exactly through that process. French able to momentarily recover, but it's always just a stalling action. It never feels like it's definitively stopping the Americans. That throw was also very impressive from Olsen.
I think Hines was blowing a few kisses to the fans there. I'm sure he's gained a few more fans as this live stream continues. Definitely a star of the junior division. You got to imagine a star of the future as well. Always trying to predicting who, at these junior levels, what might we see at the World Games in the future, That is, I think, the premier of our sport, and Cedar Hines, I wouldn't be surprised to see him there in the years to come.
And it's an all-rounder. It's not like, it's because his throws are incredible, because he's such a defensive force. He just seems to do everything right all of the time. And if you're French, that's got to be incredibly annoying. As Gibert tries to get the throw off, gets it across the Pally. There was a foul call, but quickly rescinded. Pally calling, he wants somebody. He's forced to just launch one up, but it might just be perfectly into the path. Stangunek!
Standing tall, Stangunek, and the magic disc player was there to bail out that high stall throw, and they're going to do that, France. If it gets high in the stall count, they're going to lash it deep. First time USA really caught out with that one. And France are still in this game, have that one break, and as I said, if they can stay tight as they work into the business end, cross over more players. There's no more games, so you can afford to put all your energy in there. And Stangunek is just such a towering presence in the end zone, has been playing offense and defense.
As we see a reverse of the combination between Palais and Stangunek. That was the time he fell over, got up, faked again, and scored, which I'm still not entirely sure was by accident. I think he's just baiting. And here was the huge show from Paré. But the right angle and the best read.
And they did that a couple of times against Canada, where they got high in the stall count and just hucked and hoped. But they've good throwers and good receivers, and came down nearly all of them against Canada.
Stangunek has always been a lethal threat. Really balanced approach. You see there, 2 goals, 2 assists in this game. That brings his total tally for this tournament up to 10 assists, 10 goals. 2023 he was 4 assists, 17 goals. 2022 he was 3 assists, 17 goals. So you can tell, really developing his skill set. Right now he'll need every single part of it to try and dethrone the Americans, as they are already inside the brick mark. Hines with the disc in hand, leading past the Shope. Newhouse attacks across, and then just popping in Morrison. Cool, calm, collected.
They really settled again, this USA O-line. Braden Morrison with the goal there. I think that defense is maybe catching them out for a while. From France, that kind of zone with the match defense on Hines, but I think they figured it out now. Maybe it's time to change it up again. Braden Morrison coming out of Durham.
Looks like Thomas Shope brought his fan club with him.
Durham's such a hotbed. Part of the Triangle, I believe, in America. One of the real hubs of youth ultimate development. But there's a lot of representation. We were talking about the 13 different clubs that helped make up this French Open side. Even if when I was reducing the areas to kind of general ultimate areas, there is about 11 represented. And that's what I'm saying, like Boston, New England is one area, Kentucky's another one, Minnesota, Maine, Durham, NYC, Salt Lake City, as you were talking about them early on. Of course, Seattle, huge representation. Oregon, Utah as well. So a diverse array of players, but unified in their mission and ambition.
I think we're seeing a more standard horizontal stack here from France, but it looks like a zone from the USA.
Gibert across the Palais. Palais, Gibert. So whatever, if they had any set plays or if they're bothering to set them anymore, they're certainly not getting any chance to unleash them. Gibert back across the Palais, and now Palais wants another huge backhand. I think he's read the wind. And that's a fantastic block. He was looking for Péchard, but Hawkins, I mean, he's like a hawk down there in the sky.
I thought a foul was going to be called there. I'm surprised it wasn't, but France happy with the contact.
Hawkins immediately goes deep. Stone. Inside pass, Davis. Hawkins. And a remarkably free Wagner, thanks to an incredible cut against Paris. Leahy. Brown trying to get free. Running into contact with Falleur. I gotta say, just from my view, I thought he was pretty well set up. What do you think, Liam?
The bar for contact has been pretty high in this game. I think it drifted a little too high there for anyone's liking.
Can I confirm what the call is, please?
So I'm calling.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like we've discussed. We've got a foul, contest.
See, to me that looks like Falleur's in position and stands his ground.
Yep. Coming in on
Standing very firm as well, definitely bracing for impact. Hard to argue who was in the right there, but probably want to avoid that contact.
As Brown called for a violation.
Things getting spicy on that sideline.
Yeah, you can tell it's a cold breeze, but there's a bit of hot air rising over there. Able to get across to Stone in the end. Leahy running, but pressured. The disc goes down. Palais. We've got another deep shot. The backhand came out smooth. Got a little flutterier towards the end, but as long as they arrive, they're okay. Lemarais. Gibert fires that one through the middle, and it's just a bit too hot for Stangenek to hold on to. Now America could come right back. Hawkins, we know he has that throw, so you've got to respect the fake. Leahy tries to lead Hawkins. The wind has other ideas. Péchard runs and collects it underneath. Able to get it across the Palais. Palais to Péchard. Péchard doesn't look like the look of that cut from Falleur. Gibert goes back to Péchard, chases him. Brown was ready with the switch, immediately picking up Gibert, momentarily anyway. Gibert able to get free, and then the push pass in and collected.
And a good battle downfield there. You see actually some of the USA and French players hugging after that one. There's been a bit of contact in this game, but I think both sides relatively happy with it. Saw the deep shot earlier with Péchard. Thought he was going to call a foul. There was no foul. Definitely a bit of argy-bargy in that up the line space from both sides. And that's just a little dishy push pass.
I like how Stangenek then just sat there and kind of just a bit of contemplation in the style of Victor Hugo. Anybody not sure who that is? He actually wrote Les Miserables, but he wrote the book. So, also helped form the Third Republic of France. A bit of trivia. How many republics has France had? That's a little bit of trivia for you to think about as we go to a break. It is United States 11, France 8.
For the first time in 8 years, the WFDF World Ultimate Championships are here. The best athletes from 23 countries across the globe are headed to Australia to represent their nations in a competition for pride, prestige, and gold. Ultiworld is bringing you exclusive coverage of Worlds from the Gold Coast. See who is truly the best in the world. It all starts August 31st.
Welcome back, everybody. We are currently enjoying the second half of the Open Division, but there's more action still to come, Liam.
Yeah, we'll have a rematch, but in the women's division, United States versus France. So you see some of the French women there stretching and preparing for that game, as we see a bricked pull here, sorry, an offside called on the pull, so we'll be coming in on the brick mark.
And that's really unfortunate, because that's probably the best pull we've seen France do, going in that direction to just give up the advantage. Olsen. It's not like he needs help getting into a good position. Big shot straight away. Throw and hope for Shope, and he collects.
Shope, the master of the house here against this French side, and they set up a deep shot there. That's one of the few times I've seen the USA O-line not have Cedar Hines touch the disc, so not needing on that one. Shope having a fantastic game here in the final. Great read on that. There was a French player in the area, but Shope read it quick and read it early and just sailed it into the end zone.
I feel like he almost... Oh no, I thought maybe it was a deception. He threw in that got RSO to pull so far off. I think RSO just got a little bit lost underneath it, whereas Shope watched it all the way.
Still making a lot of noise over there.
You can actually see the Thomas Shope fan club on the hill at the back of the end zone. As I said, I think 15 family members here.
They rock together, they roll together. And right now Shope's giving them plenty to cheer about. 1 goal, 2 assists. An impressive performance by the young man in the prime time of his life.
Thomas Shope is currently the #1 tourist attraction in Birmingham right now.
Shortly followed by the road out of Birmingham.
That was Axel Olsen's 3rd assist of the game.
Axel Olsen picking up 3 assists, continuing his incredible run of form from the semi-final. A pull out of the hands of Hansen, getting them onto the sideline. The French come right back. Gibert, Stangunek, into the middle, Pichard. Pichard back to Palais. Palais calls, somebody come under, please. Obliged by Guichard. Guichard back to Palais. Palais swings it across. Pichard. There's a pick downfield. Palais, Pichard, looking for moves, gets one up the line. That was a good cut by Guichard, disguised it well. Stangunek able to hold on to that. Gibert comes back, collects. Stangunek makes another move, but it was read the entire way and very well D'd up Lehman just caught that as if it was being thrown to him by his own teammate. Nichols goes back, Hansen. Across to Lehman, it floats. And Lehman's going to understandably call a foul on Steganek. Steganek appeared to be indicating he was going to contest that.
I think it was definitely a foul. You can maybe argue that it was uncatchable as it is land out of bounds, and that's maybe a discussion happening here.
Okay, this perspective is irrelevant. It's about these players. Okay, so we've got a call of foul from the USA.
But I run like that. I jump, but the disc is too high because he takes the line. And after, there is a contact, but the disc are also out.
Okay, but I think I was about to jump, and then you hit. I couldn't even jump. So you didn't give me the chance to make a play.
You couldn't. Okay.
Well, your team should have already done that by now. Okay. We've hit time. They've had an opportunity to do that. If they haven't done it already.
Okay. Comme par hasard. Comme par hasard, il n'y a pas la VAR.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
I'll retract it.
Okay, let's go.
Cool. Right, so it's retracted. Turnover's going to stand.
So Lehman having to let that go. He definitely had an argument to make. Steganek effectively tried to Kittredge him.
Yeah, I don't think he can jump over Lehman just yet, but great spirit there from Lehman because it was such a bad foul, but it actually didn't, I don't think, affect the play. So I think the right resolution and very well done by him.
It just takes a lot of character because he had every reason to be annoyed. As the French looking to get back into that end zone and perhaps a little bit of karma. Steganek unable to hold on to the disc.
He wasn't going calling a foul on Lehman there anyway after the last one.
No. Steganek, of course, also very spirited. Back across. Levine. Oh, and that one bobbled. Steganek, or no, sorry, that was Pechard, I think, who got just enough to influence it at least. So Nichols wasn't able to grab it. Pallier wants to get it across, and that's a great grab under intense pressure. Paul Guichard brings it in.
And France still within touching distance. Not as clean as they'd like it to be at times, but staying in the game.
They've only gotten one break. And it's not a matter of if they can do it one more time. It's a matter of if they can do it 4. As we have one more look at this foul. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a matter of, look, you weren't going to get it, but that is a pretty egregious foul.
I think if he even jumped and did get it, he would have landed out of bounds. If you could argue, it was already so close to the sideline and doing well to punch in here, France.
That's not an easy grab at all for Paul Guichard. 12-9 up.
And that was some of the French mixed team coaches actually getting involved there. So they do work as a team sometimes, just helping out where they can. The French delegation. Busy afternoon for them, being in both the Open and Women's Final.
The Women's Final, of course, another replay, as you said, when they went to Universe Point in power pools. As Olsen with the disc. Dunkley clears across. Said he goes to Morrison. Morrison immediately to Hines. The timing perfect as always. Murty near sideline. Shope makes the move in front. It goes back to Olsen. Shope was in the open space, but well shut down. Olsen leads Hines. Murty tacks under, and Hines fallible.
A glitch in the matrix. Don't know what happened there. In fairness, he probably is allowed one, but touching the disc so much and doing so much for this US team.
So Bouvard, I believe that might be his first touch of the disc in the game. No pressure. Vizon-Blanc. He'll need somebody to get free. Fortunately for him, Malandin obliges. French grinding their way down. The pass got to Laurent Ballot, and that's all that matters. Bouvard swings it into the middle. And Malandin trying to get it back to Laurent Ballot. Can't. Olsen wants to finish this point quickly. He's done with it. Schoep agrees.
Had a big opportunity for Franz. Heinz gifting him the disc and didn't have enough firepower, I think, on the line there, France, to convert that break. A long way to go. We're slowly working the unders, but needed a bit more flair, pizzazz on that D-line.
You could just see, perhaps, certainly at this point with so few points left, you'd expect a few more of them to show up. Some of their stars swapping over to the D-line, but they've asked so much of them already.
Has 2 goals and 2 assists. Axel Olsen has 1 goal and 4
So you can see,
assists.
I think that's just a schoolboy error really, but plenty of these players still in school.
France 9.
And immediately punished. Olsen to Schoep.
Can France do what nobody's done before and score 10 points on this USA Open team?
It remains to be seen. 13-9. Etat uni advantage.
Let's go, D. Break it, boys!
And talking about facts about France, do you know how many time zones France has?
Oh, because of the overseas territories.
12, the most of any country in the world, actually. You have places, as I said, overseas like Tahiti, where they're running the surfing and the Olympics. So
I was thinking, it's 1. I've been to France. It's 1.
No, 12.
Well, there you go.
Running out of time here now, the French.
And the Americans. Not really zoning. Seems to be more of just a little bit junky. Oh, and Gibert holds on. Second time of asking. Gets the swing. Back into Lemar. And across. Péchal. Péchal goes under. Letalier throws it across to Arloso. Arloso back to Letalier. Letalier all the way around to Péchal. So swinging. So you can see the American marks, or at least Cutter's trying to step in that open lane. Paris held on to it. He's had some fantastic deep shots. Péchal. I think Stangernick was calling for the throw. That's going to float. Paris able to get there despite the impressive pressure of Micah Wagner. Conversation now, I believe, is Paris just arguing, yes, Wagner, you can't keep stalling. You fouled me. This should be 0 when I have the disc, even though I caught it. And with all due respect to Wagner, he immediately agreed. Paris goes to swing it across. There is a pick downfield. So Péchal is not allowed to hold on to that one. Elliot Hawkins gets to catch up. Been very impressed with Elliot Hawkins in this game. One of the hardest assignments available at the whole tournament, and he has risen to the occasion.
I think just discussing what this stall should come in on.
The call was a couple of seconds ago. I don't know what your stall had got to.
I was 8 when you threw it. So for me it's 6, and then he's saying it's 8. So I threw on 8. But
Okay, can we agree coming back in on 5?
Yeah.
Is that okay, France? Great, okay.
Forehand!
Compromise, the secret to success. Paris. Gibert. Gibert, there's the isolation cut by Lemari, but Brown shutting him down. Paris, hammer over the top, once Péchal! Collected.
That big sugar-coated hammer. You see, Perret was trying to set that one up for quite some time, gesticulating to his teammates. I think they need to do that more, France, actually. I think attacking their break side with the hammers. I think, you know, USA have been helping out deep. They've left the break side open quite a lot for this French side. And, you know, people think hammers are difficult throws, but such good throwers here in this French side. Use that to open up the field a bit more.
Owen Palais has certainly been opening up the field throughout this game. 3 assists so far, 2 of them those brilliant big backhands, showing off the hammer. The Americans are giving us space. You have to. Offense is an inherent advantage. There has to be gaps somewhere. Something the Americans do so well is only providing those gaps in places where excellent creative throwers could hit them. That's what Pelé is showing himself to be.
Yeah, it's not even just executing a throw, having the bravery to do it as well.
In pursuit of that liberté that defines so much of the French approach to ultimate.
And we're seeing Gibert on the D-line, I think, for the first time all game. Pichard as well, definitely a stronger line here. Gibert versus Hines, this is what you want to see.
This is why we came here. The two young stars of their respective nations. In real constellations of squad makeup, as there's the big shot, looking over. And it only goes over the defense. Fantastic throw. Rowan Dunkerley collects.
It is now game point USA. Do or die for France. Absolutely love them bringing Gibert on to mark Hines. Hines didn't necessarily have the biggest impact there. It didn't need to. See if France stack another line. They kind of have to at this stage. They definitely have to.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so interesting to see, hey, we're going to cross over our O-line handler to take on their best cutter. That's what we feel is our best defender. It's possibly our O-line handler, which is remarkable to see.
But again, speaking to the depth of America, Dunkerley and Lee have been largely existing on the outer extremities of the swinging set against the French zones. They've just been doing their job. Dutiful gears in this American machine. But when the moment comes, they've got plenty of talent themselves. Excellently set up cut and a brilliant throw from Lee. So all these players bring so much unique talent and ability, but it's about how do you fit into the American system.
And great to see the two birds flying together, having a bit of fun here, and that is spirit in a nutshell there.
It's just mascots. It's, we need more mascots, I feel like, in Ultimate. Everybody's trying to professionalize the sport. That's a big step towards it in my book.
There was big talks about them having a dance-off at some stage.
Really? I heard the French guy was chicken.
Yeah. You had to say it, Lorcan, didn't you?
Somebody did. So, for now, the French alive. Let's see what kind of fighting spirit they have. Quick pop and Gibert reloaded. No cuts made to match his uprushing play. Pichard. And just absolutely nobody getting free easily. And there's the huge shot. Once Letalier, but Leahy in the area, laying in wait. There is a foul call, so that's possibly going all the way back to Gibert.
It did seem a bit undercooked when it came out, so it'll go back. But you see Leahy doing the same thing they've done all game and peeling off and helping.
I think Leahy was marking Orisau as opposed to Hansen, who was on Letalier. Pichard rescuing possession with another athletic bid. Pelé almost getting frustrated with the competence of the American defense and a miscommunication. This could be deadly. Here come the Americans. They can feel the gold already. Wagner to Hawkins. Hawkins inside the brick mark, far sideline. Gets it back across to Nichols and completes the move. He's looking. You imagine it would be a break throw. They are so professional in this position. Hawkins shoots, but a miscommunication. And the French escape alive.
I don't want it to end just yet, Lorcan,
no, I'm having too much fun. This is the end of our tournament after this one.
Yeah, I think that the French team deserve a tighter scoreline if they, can get back into this one.
That's what the American coaches said as well. Like, the game was closer than the score. That's a particular cliche that doesn't ring too well with me. Letalier, Gibert. Brilliant break to Pelé, and Pelé shoots deep, and even Pichard isn't going to be able to collect that one.
And it's twice Pelé is miscommunicated with his teammates.
Brown with the disc. This French team is sensational. I just think when people say, oh, the score deserved to be closer, I think you're underselling how incredibly good this American team is.
Well, I think they just like to get a closer scoreline and be proud of that.
Oh, they've got plenty to be proud of. As we see a huge hockey once Hawkins that comes out of the hands of Hansen. And a massive play on the other end. The French aren't done yet. Péchard with the block. Péchard and Hawkins have been having a battle for the ages. You're talking about like looking to future World Games teams. Wouldn't surprise me to see both of them renewing this rivalry.
Péchard takes flight and showing his closing speed there. Might have actually won that foot race against Hawkins. Gets that inside line and just says no.
Now has it in the middle of the pitch. Quick throw around. Steganik down the line to Palais. Palais back to Steganik. Doesn't like the deep cut. Goes back to Palais. Palais across. Just about taken in by Letalier. Letalier goes to Gibert. Now Gibert with the blade. Péchard, the double happiness. And the French still have fight. 14-11.
Brilliant performance by France in that point. It looked like their story was over, but there's still a few pages to write yet. These French players will not go down without a fight. Péchard just an enchanted performance again today. Been a real breakout performance for him at this tournament. We'll see him in many World Championships to come as we see him here. Again, that closing speed, denying any access to the end zone.
And then Gibert finishing off the move. Brilliant throw. Upwind has died down to an extent, although it is starting to rifle up again. But Gibert surging with the disc. He slices, he dices. He does everything nicest. So the Americans ready to go. The French all coming onto the team. Is there, we know they're known for the cockerel, but is there a French phoenix rising against these American Eagles? Gibert will be going out there. Stangonek as well. Also Lemau. Some pretty integral French O-line handlers. As they try to do whatever is available to stop the Americans. That disc was slowly guiding itself back in, but not enough. So Olsen would get it at the brick mark.
We'll see if USA can run one of their pull plays here. We have Hines set up on this near sideline, but we do see a bit of bracketing going on downfield for France.
Nicely recognized. So they go to Newhouse. Olsen cuts up the line. Schob completely free. Finding the space against that bracket. Goes back to Olsen. Olsen's just been, I thought, looking at Lee mostly for the dump. Lee working tirelessly. He was cutting for that entire 8-second span. Hines stares into the end zone. He has options. He also has patience. Olsen. Back to Hines. Olsen looks to continue the move for gold. It goes over the top. It's collected on the other side by Morrison. They support each other. They work together. They are committed. And in the end, it's a team effort for America to take home the gold in the open division.
And another gold medal for USA. Such a stellar team, a well-earned gold medal, a valiant effort from the French. They put their hands to their head, they fall to their knees. They should be so proud, that French side as well. But
so proud.
This is one of the best USA teams I've seen at this level. That O-line were just magnificent all day long. An unusual way to end the game. Heartbreak for the French. I think they've fallen to the ground half in disappointment, half in just tiredness.
It's been a very long week.
See Stanionek, one of the first French players, go over it to congratulate them, and we should congratulate both sides. A really, really brilliant game.
And with that win, America achieved le 10e, their 10th gold medal
And we see this up the line shot, not the intended receiver, but like a vulture coming in to feast on the scraps is Braden Morrison. He'll be delighted with himself. What a moment for him and his family. The winning goal at a World Championships. He'll remember that for the rest of his days.
And they swarm as they deserve to. The Americans have been incredible all week long, and that didn't change today. 9 clean holds out of 11.
Yeah, France just one break, which was hard-earned break. So few chances. An incredible team, though, this French side, and we're able to get it back many's the time when they turned over at that O-line. Some stars of the future, but just looking at that, clean holds, 9 clean holds for the USA O-line. That's 9 out of 10 attempts for clean holds. That's you wouldn't see it at the highest level of Ultimate, Lorcan. That's as good as you can get.
One of the real standout players for this American side, and look, it's a team of absolute standouts, but Axel Olsen, he keeps them rolling, throwing out the assists, dishing out possession as necessary, not afraid to take on some big shots, or those short insides as well, which he is sensational at. He just dissects defenses. Every fake has to be reacted to, every muscle twitch, because it could be deadly if you don't. He's a real standout in the semi-final as well, for those exact reasons.
Yeah, we haven't seen a large amount of the USA O-line because they've been breaking so much, but a great connection actually with Olsen and Shope, I thought. 2 players really stepped up in this final because maybe got a better opportunity to shine with playing more offense. And they're celebrating with their teammates and newfound forever friends.
As we are joined by Cedar Hines. Thank you so much for joining us and congratulations. So our first question, that American offense just seemed nearly impossible to stop. What's your secret?
Just, I don't know, systems. Having great throwers, our handlers, best in the world, I think. Yeah.
And looking at the French defense, for a while there was throwing a zone, but actually putting a one-on-one matchup on you. What was that battle like?
It was tough at first, but I just liked running, so it was cool, and it opened up opportunities for my teammates to just open up more space. Yeah.
And talking about your teammates, you know, I'm sure you've made some new friends. What has it been like making new friends, playing on Team USA, the whole experience for you overall?
It's been a blast. I was nervous at first, but honestly, it's been like the best experience of my life, meeting all these great players and just making new friends.
Well, Cena, it's been an honor watching you play. I think we'll see you lots more World Championships. Congratulations on your gold medal. As we see some of your coaching staff in the background getting dunked. We'll let you go celebrate with your teammates here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Shout out my mom, by the way.
Shout out to Cedar Hines' mom on behalf of everyone in Ultimate, because that was just such a delight to watch. I always feel a little bit guilty when we ask them right after they win to come and do an interview, and you're like, look at all these friends. But you said it there, newfound friends for life.
Yeah, and shout out to all the moms out there.
We love you, mums. And shout out to everybody for joining us today. It has been a great open final. High-flying action. Young players showing what they've got. Big grabs, huge throws, passion, power, pizzazz. We had it all. And we've still got more to give you. There remains one final still to come as these two nations, these old allies since the Enlightenment, go back to battle, this time in the women's division as the USA women will take on the French women. It was a universe point decider last time. What will it be this time? There's only one way to find out, so we will see you shortly at 2:30 BST at next catch time. Same catch channel.